Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Top in this newscast, police were on the scene at one St. Thomas school after an alarming threat was directed at school personnel. According to the Department of Education, Gladys Abraham Elementary School was placed on lockdown Wednesday morning, and police are investigating the threat that was made. News 2's Alison Bourne-Vanek has that story.
Police were on school premises for almost the entire school day at Gladys Abraham Elementary. Several officers watched over students and were posted by the school's entrance as the school was put on lockdown.
Gladys Abraham Elementary School was placed on lockdown today. There were threats made against some of the school personnel. The department has taken this very seriously and is working with police who are conducting a very thorough investigation. There is a police presence on campus throughout the day. There was a police presence on campus when parents picked up their children.
There is no further information yet on what the alarming threat to school personnel was about, and there is no confirmation on whether or not the person who made the threat is in police custody.
We really want to assure parents that the students are safe. Everyone is taking precautions. The staff of the Department of Education is taking this very seriously. And so we just want to make sure that there's not a panic and that the parents know that the students are safe.
Attempts were made to speak to St. Thomas St. John's School District Superintendent Jeanette Smith-Berry, but she did not want to go on camera. However, off camera, she said that all precautions had been taken to ensure school safety, and she would have more as the police investigation continues. For News 2, I'm Alison Bourne-Vanek.
Now, late in the afternoon, the VI Police Department confirmed that the threat was first received by a student. According to the police, the student received a phone call at her home from a caller who threatened members of the school administration. School officials also told police that they had previously received threatening phone calls from the unknown persons. News 2 will keep you updated on this story. Meanwhile, in other news, President Obama has named Vice President Joe Biden to lead a new effort to curb gun violence. The president pledged to use the power of his office to prevent more tragedies like the school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. There's also a push to examine mental health issues and the impact of violent entertainment like video games. The National Rifle Association, the most powerful supporters of gun owners' rights, broke its silence on the Newtown massacre Tuesday, promising to offer its ideas on how to make sure mass killings never happen again. Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy and Diana DeJette are in favor of banning high-capacity ammunition clips. McCarthy lost her husband to a mass shooting on the Long Island Railroad in 1993.
Americans want to see the high-capacity assault weapon magazines be banned. The assault weapons off our streets.
That's why I've asked the Vice President to lead an effort that includes members of my cabinet and outside organizations to come up with a set of concrete proposals no later than January, proposals that I then intend to push without delay.
Meanwhile, turning our attention back at home, Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives on St. Croix arrested 19-year-old Hosea Williams and charged him with first-degree assault for shooting a man in the JFK housing community on December 6. Police say prior to the shooting, Williams and the victim exchanged words. Williams reportedly told the victim he did not like how he was looking at him. Williams left the area, and when he returned and saw the victim and fired several shots at him, striking him in his upper left arm and right hip, his bail was set at $150,000, and he was remanded to the custody of the Golden Grove Correctional Facility. The territory will face another leac increase as the Virgin Islands Public Services Commission ultimately voted on Tuesday to allow the increase in the fuel surcharge. The decision comes after the PSC originally voted to keep the leac rates from going any higher, but once WAPA's executive director explained that WAPA could not survive without the leac increase and that their current under-recovery problem would become worse, the PSC approved the increase. The new leac rates will bring the average power costs up about 7% and the average water costs to about 10% more monthly. The VI Supreme Court bill is on its way to becoming law. Last week, the U.S. Senate passed Bill H.R. 6116, sponsored by Congresswoman Donna Christensen, that would allow decisions made by the VI Supreme Court to be directly reviewed by the U.S. Supreme Court. The bill, which amends the revised Organic Act of the Virgin Islands, removes the temporary jurisdiction of the U.S. Court of Appeals Third Circuit to review local Supreme Court decisions. The bill becomes law with President Obama's signature. According to the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, Libraries, Archives, and Museums Division, the Charles Turnbull Regional Library in Tutu will finally be opening its doors. However, the move also means the EDWIN Public Library in town will be closing its doors to allow all staff to move to the new facility. News 2's Erica Bivens has details.
What cost around $20 million and spans 38,000 square feet? The new public library in Tutu, which will finally be opening its doors.
We plan to transition to the new Charles W. Turnbull Regional Library in Estate Tutu Park Mall commencing this weekend.
Officials are calling it a transition and not just an opening, because in order to open the new facility, the Enid Ba Library will have to close its doors, and did. As of Tuesday, the staff began packing up the library in preparation for that move.
It's closing because the entire staff will transition to the new library, and the facility itself will house the archives, and the department will determine how to best utilize the remaining space.
In the meantime, book after book will be packed in boxes to be transported to a new home. And because the Ba Library is closed, the St. Thomas Bookmobile will be stationed at the new site in Tutu to continue providing library services.
From December 18th through January 22nd, patrons will be able to check in and check out their books, and we also will have no fees or fines during that period.
However, when News 2 went to look for the bookmobile Wednesday at the new facility, it was nowhere to be found. Workers were found, though, who carried on with the finishing details in the impressive new space.
I would just like to thank all of the public for their patience, and I'm sure this is a celebratory time for us, and we hope to see you soon at the new Charles W. Turnbull Regional Library.
For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Although no opening date has been set, the moving has begun, and officials estimate that to be completed by the end of December. In the fiscal cliff negotiations, one day makes a big difference. 24 hours ago, it sounded as though the president and House Republicans were close to a deal, but this morning, with 13 days to the deadline, any progress has stalled.
House Speaker John Boehner took a day off from near-constant fiscal cliff negotiations with President Obama and slammed the brakes on progress toward a pre-Christmas deal. Boehner said the White House still wants too much in tax revenue and refuses to bring new revenue in line with government spending cuts.
We do not have a balanced plan when the president's calling for $1.3 trillion in revenue and only willing to put $850 billion worth of cuts over 10 years.
Boehner is still talking to the White House, but as a hedge against failure, the House may vote soon on a bill to raise taxes on households earning $1 million or more. It's sure to pass, but would fall well short of the grand bargain sought by both sides. It's either a legislative headfake from Boehner or a sign that progress is genuinely derailed. Either way, the top Senate Democrat mocked the House GOP effort.
Speaker Boehner's proposal is not balanced, will not protect the middle class because it can't pass the Senate. And it doesn't do anything.
Mr. Obama wants to raise income taxes on households earning more than $400,000. The rate would increase from 35% now to 39.6%. Previously, Mr. Obama demanded higher taxes on households earning $250,000. The White House says a deal is in sight.
There is an opportunity on the table here to achieve $1.2 trillion in additional spending cuts. It seems like folly to walk away from that opportunity.
And keeping our eye on the economy, a shopping analyst expects holiday sales to be weaker than first expected. Shopper Track says retail sales were strong out of the gate Thanksgiving weekend, but slowing down. That's bad news for retailers who make 40% of their profit during the holidays. Internet advertising is at a record high. Companies spent more than $9 billion on internet ads in the third quarter, an 18% increase over the last year. Advertisers now spend twice as much on the internet than in newspapers. This is a New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 98, Nasdaq 10, S&P also 10. Coming up on News 2, it's all in the spirit of giving. The Rotary Club of St. Croix Mid Isle made a special delivery Wednesday to the staff of Casa V-I. Details coming up. The Democratic Party of St. Croix fed the homeless Wednesday at the Christian Shan Hendricks Vegetable Market. For almost 10 years, the organization has provided and served food to the needy one day during the Christmas season. And this year, they say going forward, they plan to do even more for the homeless legislatively. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
Catholic charities and other local nonprofits who feed the homeless got a break Wednesday.
We serve between 35 to 40 plates a day.
St. Croix Democratic Party prepared and served meals to the homeless and other residents in need.
I know this is the season of forgiving, and that's what we're trying to do.
This is the 9th year we've been doing it since I think it was 2004 when we started it. And it's an opportunity to give back to those individuals who are less fortunate.
The annual event happens during the Christmas season, but members from the party say their organization plans to do more.
We have a lot of people that are in our community that is beyond what you would typically see as homeless. That might be on the surface, but we know and we recognize that we have a lot of folks that are struggling now. At the end of the day, we're a political organization, and not only is it important for us to give back, but to highlight things that we believe our members should advocate for. And one of those things, I believe, is trying to support legislation or policies that assist not only government agencies, but a lot of the nonprofit organizations that are filling the gaps when it comes to providing meals or ensuring that those folks that are in need get their medication.
For Rasheed Rodgers, it's a meal he appreciates, as well as the people who are serving it.
They're doing everything well, and I like the food and the homeless, them also, and I'm proud to be with you all today.
I'm hopeful that the Democratic Party, that what we have started in the past and what we continue to do and moving towards the future, that we can really bring this homeless situation to not necessarily to an absolute close, but to be able to do more for them, providing an area where they can actually call their homes.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Democratic Party officials say they plan to host more charitable events year-round. Catholic Charities will host the Christmas Luncheon and Children's Christmas Party for the homeless on Thursday. Well, the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation and the John H. Woodson Concert Band teamed up to spread some holiday cheer as the band held a free public concert at the Butter Park in Frederiksted as part of an initiative to expose students' talents while celebrating the holiday season in the territory.
The Department of Sports, Park and Recreation is very pleased to do this in collaboration with the John Woodson Junior High School Band. And basically, you know, this is the holiday season, Christmas season, and we have invited the band to come out to our park here at Bodo Park in Frederiksted and to actually do a Christmas concert. And it's not only happening here at Bodo Park, but it's happening throughout the territory at our various parks, at Emancipation Gardens and St. Thomas, also even in Roosevelt Park and at the Frank Powell Park on St. John.
The Rotary Club of St. Croix Mid Isle made a special delivery Wednesday to the staff of Casa V-I. They presented a new laptop computer to the organization for their work with foster children and representing them in the courts.
Gail has about 80 of our young St. Croix folks in her program. We've got lots to do in terms of maintaining their best interest in education and in health.
Our productivity will be increased greatly by having a new modern laptop that we can use power on, power off, as well as to be able to access reports for the court and work that we're doing from wherever we might be at a given time. So this is a wonderful gift.
And of course, Christmas is right around the corner, and to celebrate, the Estate Wim Museum is opening its doors for its annual Old Time Crucian Christmas Open House, which starts on Wednesday through Saturday from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Now, admission is free. More 60th festival events also coming up as the Christiansted Mini Village kicks off this Friday, December 21st at the DC Cannegative Fairgrounds, followed by the Old Time Night Parade, which takes place on December 22nd, starting from the Sunday Market Square. You can check out www.stxfestival.com for more festival events. And government employees will soon be celebrating the holiday season as Governor John DeYoung Jr. has officially signed a proclamation granting administrative leave to government employees during the Christmas holiday and Crucian Festival season. Leave is being granted specifically in the St. Croix district on January 2nd for the Festival Juve and Food Fair. Meanwhile, the territory will be able to observe Friday, January 4th for the Children's Parade and Monday, January 7th for Three Kings Day. Other holidays include Christmas Day, Christmas Second Day, and New Year's Day. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.